Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Emma, Stitched by Emma, whatever works for you. And today I'm doing kind of like a June wrap up. I actually filmed this a couple days ago, like in full. Filmed the full video, but I was in a mood. Like I rewatched that video and I was like, oh my god, ew. I was like, I don't want anybody to see this side of me. This is ugly and gross. So also it worked out because the volume was wonky and wacky and you couldn't hear like every other word I said. So I was like, there was no way I could put this out in the first place. So here we have it, the redo of the recap of June. We're doing everything right this time, okay? We're doing everything in a happier mood this time. I even got my mom's mug that says happiness on it. She's one of those people who wants everything to be like happy and sunny all the time. So she's got like mugs that say happiness and like t-shirts that say be happy. So, you know, that's not really my jam, but sometimes when I really need it, I just kind of pick up something that she's got. So like I said, we're doing like a June recap, right? So we're going to do projects I did, patterns I released, projects I have planned, projects I'm working on, and then little things that I've picked up throughout the month, yarn or just like, I don't know, little things I want to talk about. And then I also decided I'm going to do a pet peeve list at the end. At the end of the month, I'm going to go through and talk about things I saw online, whether it's like Twitter, TikTok, whatever, things that just piss me off. And I want to just like therapeutically just let it out because I feel like other people need that too. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, section number one is pieces I've made. The first physical piece I made this month was a butterfly shrug. So the butterfly shrug, if you've never seen my page before or any of my other socials, is a pattern that I've been kind of working on for a really long time. I made like a centro knit version of it first, like literally January of 23, I think, so a while ago now. And after I made that, I liked it, I thought it was cute, and I tried to make a crochet version, and then people were like, we want a pattern. And I was like, people like this? I was like, I thought this was kind of weird, kind of funky, so I didn't know if people would really want a pattern. So I eventually just kind of kept reworking it into something that was much more stable, had some more like texture to it, some more like fun aspects and elements of it. I had a lot of people reach out to me and tell me that they think that my patterns are really popular in like the Ren Fair community, and I was like, okay, I love that. That made me happy. I like that some of my weirder, more eccentric designs, more eccentric designs are ones that like people can still find joy in. That's like a fear I have with some of the patterns I release. I'm like, I think this is cute. People tell me it's cute. People tell me they want a pattern, but like, are they actually going to go as far as to like buying it because it is like a little more out there or weird or funky? I don't know. So yeah, that made me happy to hear. But anyway, I made this shrug. This is the third version of like the final form of it. I have a green and a pink and a blue one now, and those were all to help me get the pattern up. So I wrote the pattern is done, and I put out a tester call. I chose my testers, so this is now in testing. I think the tentative release date is like the beginning of August, so stay tuned because she's a cutie. In between making that and making my other physical pieces, I had a pattern release, which was super fun and exciting. The pattern was for the Eloise cardigan. I'm going to throw in some pictures too so you can see it on because I think that just does patterns a lot more justice. This is my favorite version of it though, the green with the sleeves. It feels so Tinkerbell, so I love it. I put the tester call out for this one back in like March, I think, so it's been in the works for that like ever since. The testers did an amazing, beautiful job. I would really recommend going to my Instagram and looking through the posts that I have of the tester versions if you want like inspiration, if you're interested and want to make your own, because they did such a beautiful job interpreting it in their own ways. All had different sleeve lengths and different placements of the butterflies and different like colorways, and just they blow me away every single time. It blows my mind. It's amazing. But Eloise cardigan, this is an advanced beginner made to measure pattern. The link is on my Etsy if you'd want to make something similar, but that was the pattern that I put out this month. And I also did kind of a surprise second pattern release on the same day. My whole last video was about making this, but I made a talking heads vest, and I thought this was sick as hell. I didn't make a whole pattern for this, however, I did make the chart in 4 different stitch counts across. We have 102, 120, 150, and 180. So I put that on my Etsy as well. If you buy, it's like 350, I think. If you buy it, you get all 4 charts, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can make a vest like this, or you can make a sweater or a tote bag or a tapestry or like a rug. I don't know. You can do whatever you want with it. That's why I did charts and not a full pattern. Also because I haven't written a full knit pattern yet, and I just wanted to do the charts so you can use it for like whatever the hell you want. Crochet, knit, cross stitch, I don't know, whatever you want to do with it. But this was a really fun project for me. I called it kind of like the cursed vest because I messed up so many times, but just like in stupid ways. Like I initially made the chart for 150 just because I misread. So I was like, oh my god, this chart looks so good. The font is so distinct for only having 120 stitches. I realized I was 30 over. I was 30 over and it looks so silly. But this has been really fun to wear and post about. Ooh, there's a little end that I didn't sew in. I kind of was lazy with the end sewing in here. I was like, I'll go back to it later. Anything that I can tuck in, anything I can tuck in and you can't see, it's like it doesn't exist to me. Obviously, if I'm like selling a piece and I'm giving it to somebody, I'm going to make everything clean and pristine and perfect. But if I'm keeping it for myself and it doesn't bother me, then those ends might see the light of day until they die. So yeah, this was physical project number 2 and surprise pattern release, which it's so cool. If you want to watch my video about making this, it'll pop up at the end of this one. This was the last finished project that I did this month. It was this little stitch sampler top. This one is super, super cute. I whipped this up in just like a day or two because I was like, God, I'm feeling uninspired. I'm trying to come up with a way to make a top like this for a while, and I was putting it off for so long, and I was just like, fuck it. Like, we just have to find a way to do it. So it has all these different little stitches, and it's really, really pretty. I think it's beautiful. And the top is so secure. Like, a lot of times with crochet, like, you kind of have to choose between like security and cuteness, because you'll have to use like tape or wear like a bra under or something, because it's either like see-through but it fits right, or like it fits right but it's see-through. This fits right, not see-through, nothing's falling out. I could move around, I could dance in it, and like there's no risk. It's just so perfect. And also, you see this flower in the middle? Detachable. That's right. It is detachable. Little appliques that are not sewn on, but like detachable appliques are like my new like thing, even though I've like barely actually made any. So I made this to put on a little striped drop waist dress that's kind of like rainbow-y, like pastel rainbowish, and it's so cute and pretty. I wore it the other day. It was a hit. But I wanted a flower on this top as well, but I didn't want to fully commit to there being a flower on it. So I took my little flower from that dress and I just, it's a safety pin. That's all it is. It's just you make your little thing, you safety pin it on, bada bing, bada boom. You never have to worry again. Now, on to my current project. So I have been feeling like incredibly uninspired lately. I don't know why. I think I burnt myself out a little bit, low key. I was spending so much time worrying about like writing up patterns and making a billion different versions of things that had already existed. So I wasn't really working on anything new. I was making pieces and making new pieces, but they weren't like new to me. Do you know what I mean? No matter how many like variations and cool versions I made of all of my designs that I've made in the past, I still didn't feel like I was really accomplishing much because I didn't feel like I was doing anything new. So that kind of started to take a toll on me a little bit, just because I don't know. I felt like maybe I was like losing it. Maybe I was losing my creative juice in my brain. Maybe it just was gone. But that's never the case. I think everybody thinks that at some point, that like maybe they just don't have any more ideas, but really they just need a break. And that's what I needed. I just needed a break from doing new things for a little bit, I think. So I decided to just stare at my yarn collection, all the fun ones, all the pretty ones, all the ones that I had on reserve for something special, and I was like, I need to use something. So I landed on some yarn that I was gifted from We Are Knitters. They gifted me some baby alpaca and mohair, and I have it in 2 different colors. One I was going to use to make Bow Meadows coquette top. It's so cute. I'm throwing in a picture. You will love it as much as I do because it's such a cute knit pattern, and I've never followed a knit pattern before, but like I really want to follow that one. That's a project that I wanted to save until it was a little bit cooler outside. It's so hot in Chicago right now. Oh my god, I went to an art festival yesterday. I went to the Logan Square Art Fair. If you're from the area and you're like familiar with the little neighborhoods, Jesus, I was burning. I was burning, and I was burning even more at Pride Fest the other day. Like, it's just been so brutally hot here that like I can't even like think about making things for the fall or the winter, even though that's kind of like what I'd normally be doing right now. But anyway, this kind of is going to be too hot to wear, but it's just kind of what I gravitated towards. So I picked up these 2 yarns, the alpaca and the mohair, and I held them together, which I don't do often, but it just makes such a luxurious little feel to it. And I decided I'm going to make this top, and it's going to have a front panel that's like flat, kind of like boat neck-ish, and then it's going to be backless with a little tie, and the sleeves. Here's where we get fun. The sleeves are going to be made out of this green boucle that kind of just looks like moss or grass or ivy or whatever you want it to be. And basically, I'm going to use a really, really thick needle. So not the size I'm using for this. I'm going to use a really thick needle, hold this single strand, and just make really thin grass-like looking flare sleeves. And that's going to be the top, and then I'm going to take the mohair, because the mohair I have 400 yards more of than the just plain alpaca in this color. So what I'm going to do with some of the extra mohair I have when I'm done is do really, really light monochromatic, what's the word I'm looking for? Flower, like appliques or flowers on it. Just like something super light that almost blends in with the actual top, but if you look closely, you'll be able to see the detailing. And use anything I have left of this to embroider like a little stem going down. You know me and adding like little flowers and nature pieces into my work. I always do it, even if it's not necessary or called for. I'm just a big, like, I don't know, adding shit to my work. Speaking of the art fair, these are the earrings I got there yesterday. Aren't they so cute? They're so pretty. I love any kind of jewelry with like bugs on it. Dragonflies, butterflies. I love it. But anyway, this is the only whip that I have going into the next month. And I have plenty that like need to begin, but this is the only one I have like on the needles at the moment. I actually finished the whole front panel of this today. And then when I kind of held it up to my shoulders for the boat neck look, my God, my goodness, it stretched like all the way down my shoulders, and I was like, fuck, it's wrong, it's too big, I should have swatched. So I undid all of it, I subtracted some stitches, but left a little because this time I wanted to try to do some armhole shaping, so this will end up being just perfectly shoulder width. But the good news is, instead of holding two different balls together, now we've got this nifty little combo ball with all the yarn from the other panel. So hopefully it'll fly by. It's 10 stitches shorter, so it'll take me like a couple hours faster. Gotta look on the bright side of things, you know. Some yarn that I acquired this month. This is from eBay. This is Manos del Uruguay Wool Classica. And these are so pretty, so beautiful. They're a little coarser than some of the other Manos del Uruguay yarns, but I could not pass this up because it has three of my favorite things. Number one, a beautiful, stunning, gorgeous colorway. Like, look how that looks with the background of my room, with the poster and the pillow. Amazing. So we have that, and then we have a we have varied texture throughout it, so it goes thick to thin. My favorite kind of yarn to work with, especially in the winter, because it will look beautiful, beautifully textured, all knit up. And number three, a great price. Monosil Uruguay Wool Classica usually goes for like $25 each. I got these for $19 for both of them. How could you pass it up? How could you? And this one's a little lavender. It's beautiful. It's so pretty. I'm really, really, really excited to use those. However, like I said, hot as fuck right now. We're gonna have to hold off. One more little like non-crochet related project that I did was I sewed in the waistband of this skirt that I have so it can fit me. I bought this a while back. It's from Depop, and somebody took like a little silk skirt and they sewed on like cutouts from a 1960s quilt of like moons and stars, and it's like just an adorable little whimsy goth skirt for the fall. I love to pair it with like a plain black top or something, and just it's so pretty, but the waist never fit me, so I would always just safety pin it in. But I was like, I can sew. I don't know why the fuck I'm just not sewing this together. I'm sick of being poked in the ass with a safety pin. So I just fixed it. It only took me like 5 minutes. I always do this. I had like a vest that I thrifted a couple years ago, and it was like a Western looking vest, super cool, and I wanted to pair it with my Ethel Kane merch because I got this really cute Ethel Kane top when I saw her in concert last summer, which by the way was like the most spiritual experience of my life. I cried for like almost the whole set. I've never done that for an artist before. Never. I've been to concerts. Nobody has ever just like made me cry by like seeing them in front of me. I love her so much. I have tried to say this 7 times, but I've started every time. She is one of the few musicians that I just feel like has touched me in a way that is just like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Her music means a lot to me. So, anyway, I had this vest that I wanted to pair with her merch, and it was in my closet for like 3 years with a safety pin in it because I always meant to sew it because it had a little like gap in the top here so it would like fall through my shoulder if I wore it. It took me 45 seconds to sew that up. Just like whip stitched it together. I don't know why I waited. It was so silly of me. Okay, on we move to what's next for next month. What are my planned projects aside from this little guy that I just told you about? So obviously I go into every month with plans. Some of them happen, some of them don't. Sometimes I come out with like even better things than I expected because I randomly got an idea that just like struck me. But here are some things that I kind of plan on making. Once a year, I like to do one big bulk order of materials that I know are going to be for work. Like this is for my projects, for my patterns, for things that like I know I need to make. But like if there's anything left over, spectacular, fabulous. I will use it until it's gone because that's what I do. My most requested pattern by far that I have not made yet is for the witchy bell sleeve top. Insert photo here. The witchy bell sleeve top. I made a version of it like last year. It was super cute. Then I tried to make a second prototype for the pattern. Turned out funky because I used a yarn that was a weight too thick, so it kind of like bulked up here, and I was like, that's not what I want to do. It needs to be much finer and like sleeker material. So here's the proper material now, and I'm going to make an autumnal version of it with this cotton yarn. Weight 2 cotton, fingering slash sock, you know what to do. No DK. DK's too big for what we need, and I thought DK would work, and I was a fool. And I've also been getting requests lately for a jumpsuit pattern. Especially, I posted I posted a video on TikTok the other day of my crochet pieces as Chapel Roan songs because, like, of course I did. And I put my Barbie jumpsuit as hot to go. There's nothing specifically Barbie about the Barbie jumpsuit. It's just that I made it around the time that Barbie was coming out, and it was pink, and I wanted people, when they typed in like Barbie crochet, that they would see me because Barbie was trending. So I was really trying to capitalize on like the search bar engine. But I put the jumpsuit in the video, and people were like, oh my god, we need a pattern. So I got some yarn in different colors to make. I don't think I'm going to do the exact same thing. We're going to tweak it a little bit, but we're going to do like a green, neutral, pretty little pattern. So that's the plan there. Then I have some extras of these colors for like 3 other things that I'm trying to work up. This one is for a cardigan that's going to be the floral lace stitch that's in here. So something like this, but in like a full cardigan form is the goal. But like, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. It's been something I've been trying to work up for a little bit. The black is going to be for a skirt. Another skirt, hopefully. I saw this skirt on Depop. It was like a vintage velvet skirt with like a vintage lace. None of it's crochet, but it was very inspiring to me because it was like the full panels and then a sheer lace, full panel sheer lace, kind of like Swan Lake, except Swan Lake is almost all sheer, and there's 2 different kinds of laces. This would be a lot more opaque than that in like the rest of the skirt. But I put in an offer for that skirt, and then it sold before I could buy the offer that was accepted. So I was literally devastated. I'm way too dramatic. I was so sad. So I want to try and make a version of it that kind of like does it justice in my head. So that's what this is for. And then I bought a lot of the whites and the creams because I wanted to try and do some kind of prairie dress inspired piece, something inspired by the 70s prairie dresses, the 70s like bell sleeves and the floral lace trims. I'm really into floral lace, if you can't tell. I always have been, I always will be. I'm a lace girl at heart. I don't know what to tell you. Will I finish all of those this month? Absolutely fucking not. Will I finish one of them? Hopefully. But that's what's like in my mind on the horizon. And the thing is, I don't want to finish all of them next month. I want to get started on one, maybe 2, but I want to like leave some room for myself to like breathe creatively so I don't just like burn out and die. Now it's time for the part you've been waiting for. Things that just piss me off this month. I get mad so easily by like stupidity online. When I see people being dumb and like spreading misinformation and dumb shit, it literally just makes me so mad. I don't know why. I should not be so easily affected by this. I should not be so sensitive. Like, I should understand like that more people and more people are trying to rage bait for like attention, but still like that grabs other people's attention who don't understand that it's like not true, and then it's just like it's a spiral, and I hate it. So the first thing, the chaperone is an industry plant argument. Oh my god, give me a break. I saw this argument on Twitter, and this one person said chaperone is so obviously an industry plant, and somebody responds and goes, can you explain? Can you explain why? And they go, well, she's been in the industry for years and has made so many connections along the way, and now all of a sudden, like, she's just on top. It feels like she's been planted. Girl, do you not understand? what industry plant means. Do words not have meanings anymore? Like, worked your way, networked your way to the top, made connections, put in years of work is the opposite of what being an industry plant is. I was literally like, I was dumbfounded when I read that. I cannot believe that this is an argument going on. Like, it's just, it's insane. I love Chaperone. I think she's doing a great job. And of all the celebrities that people choose to pick on, it just like bothers me that she's become like a target for all these people to try and like project their insecurities onto. She is an incredibly talented, beautiful woman. And like people see that and they're like, let's bring her down. Let's tear her down. Let's be homophobic. Let's be a bitch. Like, it bugs me to unbelievable levels. Kind of leads us into the next thing that pisses me off is this conversation not on media literacy, but media training. Both of these words that start with media, when I see people talking about them and they like don't know what they're talking about, it just kind of like it bugs me. It bugs me. The thing with the media training, I'm seeing people say that like Chapel is not media trained and Iowa Debery is not media trained just because they have a personality and they're funny. Like they'll get in interviews and like actually be entertaining and people will be like, I love their lack of media training. I love that they're just so not trained. Again, do you even know what that word means? I think people expect every single person who's like in some sort of spotlight to go into an interview and just be like, yes, Jimmy Fallon, I'm so grateful to be in the spotlight here today. You know, I look around this room at these wonderful people, and I'm just so blessed from God that He would send me here to be with you today, Jimmy Fallon. Like, do you want every single person to just go into an interview and be like that? Wouldn't you be so fucking bored? I feel like that's what people want. And when they like see that, they're like, "Oh my god, they're just not media trained." No, not media trained is like the influencers who go up to like celebrities on the red carpet and say like to Joseph Quinn, "Can you say Chrissy wake up? Can you say Chrissy wake up to me?" Like he's got to be so annoyed. He's got to be so tired. Like I feel bad for him because he put in his all into that role. And how is he supposed to know that a bunch of weirdos were gonna just kind of like latch on to him? You know, I feel bad for him. I hope nobody ever asked that man to say Chrissy wake up ever again. This one isn't a pop culture thing. This is just something that happened to me. Okay, so Stevie Nicks and Billy Joel played at Soldier Field in Chicago, which is like if you're not from Chicago, it's a big football stadium over here. And my mom was talking to some of her friends and I happened to be like with her. And her friend said that they like would have loved to go to the Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks concert. And I went, "Oh my god, some of my friends were there." And they turned to me and they're like, "Are you even old enough to know who those people are?" I am almost 25 years old. You think I'm on this earth for 25 years and I don't know who fucking Stevie Nicks is? Are you gonna look at my wardrobe and tell me you think I don't know who Stevie Nicks is? I'm just, I'm waiting for the age where people are going to actually view me as like an adult who's experienced things. And that's like the paradox of being a woman is that you want to like stay looking young and looking fresh and everything, but like you also want people to like respect you and see you as like a full grown adult. And I know this is a very, very small thing in the grand scheme of everything, but like yes, of course I know who Stevie Nicks and Billy Joel are. They are two incredibly big musicians whose music is literally everywhere. Like, that isn't a new thing that's happened to me. I'll be like, oh my god, I love ABBA. And people will be like, oh honey, do you even know who ABBA is? Yes, everybody does. Everybody knows who ABBA is. I can't tell if it's like a boomer superiority complex or if it's like their inferiority complex. Did I even say that full word? Inferiority complex towards like younger women. Like I could literally be wearing out the talking heads vest that I made with my hands and spent like days trying to put together. Not days, weeks. That took me like 3 to 4 weeks to make. I put almost a month's of work into that because I love the talking heads and people would be like, name 3 songs. Name 3 songs. I could list the album down to you, okay? Shut up. And finally, we're going in to the Shein fast fashion debate just one more time. Just one more time for my sake so that I can get it out of my system. Okay? You can scroll ahead. You can scroll ahead if you don't want to hear this again. I hate what Shein has done to small designers, not just in stealing their work, but like taking a small business who like stands for making change in the fashion industry and like promoting fair labor and fair pricing, and then they take their work and they just like put it in their system, which now like goes against everything that that small company stands against. And then all of a sudden it makes people think that the cheap Shein version is the only or the real version, and it makes me so upset because then when people see this piece, because so many people bought it off of Shein, in their head that's like a cheap piece, that's like a piece that's like a micro trend or whatever, and it just like upsets me. It upsets me to see people's hard work being reduced to like a mass production of Shein. I've seen people post something that they got from like small designers or like even a more reputable retailer and be like, I got this from blah blah blah, and then people will be like, actually, I see right through you. I saw that on Shein. Just because you saw it on Shein doesn't mean that's where it's from. No, it's not. No, it's not. It boils my blood. It makes me so mad that people are like, Shein's the original. Shein designed this. No, they did not. Shein stole it. And then people thinking that they like found people's vendors because they see it on Shein. They'll go up to a small business and be like, oh my God, I found your vendor. I found No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You found the dupe. You found the cheap copy. I made a video about this on TikTok. It's much shorter if you want to just go watch that. But I compared two pairs of pants that I have because back before I understood like the nuances and the implications of like dupes in fast fashion, I used to be really obsessed with the Paloma wool checkered green pants. And you know what? We're just gonna do this right here, right now, once again. And here's the thing, people call these pants a micro trend. I love these pants. I wear these pants all the time. In fact, I wore the dupe so hard that I wore them out real bad. So, anyway, here's the dupe, okay? Let's look at this material. You can see it pilling and balling up. There is a hole forming in the crotch, just a very cheap, thin sweater like material. But the thing is, it's thin in a way that, like, it's really hot, but it's going to pull. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you wear it in the summer, it's going to make you so hot. If you wear it in the winter, it's going to keep you cold, and the material is going to snag on anything it comes near. So these I got like years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't even think I was 20 yet. Like, I did not know. I wasn't crocheting yet. I wasn't designing yet. I didn't understand any of that yet. I was just like, ooh, clothes, cheap, blah, blah, blah. We live, we learn, right? I found somebody selling the actual pants on Depop for only like $40. And these pants go for like over 200. They were selling them for 40 because there was like a little rip at the bottom. No big deal. I don't care. Look at the material of this pants. You can see no pilling, no pulling because it's a very nice, thick material. But opposite to the other pants, it's thick in a way that it will keep you cool during the summer and warmer during the winter. It's a very nice material. It's not going to snag on anything, hence why these pants are obviously old, but there are no snags. There is no hole in the crotch because it's just thick. So, to without any knowledge claim that like you found the vendor of a small business and it's the AliExpress or the Shein dupe, like that makes me hate you. That makes me so mad because now you're trying to convince people that the original comes from Shein, and it cheapens the work of hardworking small designers who are trying to fight for sustainability in the fashion industry. Give me a break. I think starting tomorrow, I'm going to start writing down things that piss me off throughout the month so we can do a more cohesive rundown at the end of next month, because I think there definitely were much, much more that I just forgot. But these were the top three that were just like sitting in my mind and I really, really needed to get off my chest. You know what? I feel better. I feel good. So that was my June and what I hope will be of my July. Thank you for watching. We were productive. We also weren't. We had some brain rot. We had some depressive episodes. We had some procrastination. But I think we're coming out of it. I think I'm starting to bounce back, and hopefully, July will be much better. I have high hopes for July. I feel like the creative juices will be flowing a little bit more, and I'm going to try to be a little less hard on myself when it comes to productivity, creativity, all that stuff. I hope you have a great start to your month, great start to July, a great end to June, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!